Hello everyone, we are jumping right into one of the biggest legal hot potatoes in the AI world today. The question of who actually owns the millions of photos, articles and songs that AI models eat to get smart. According to the official study guide, training data ownership involves the legal rights and permissions associated with the datasets used to train a model, often centering on whether the data is copyrighted, licensed or considered part of the public domain. Think of it like this. Imagine you decide to open a world-class restaurant. To create your menu, you go around to every other restaurant in the city, take a tiny bite of their signature dishes, and write down exactly what you think the ingredients are. Eventually, you create your own original recipes based on those tastes. The big question is, do you owe the other chefs money? Or, since you just learned from them to make something new, is it fair game? In the AI world, the bytes are the data points. Your Instagram photos, a journalist's article, or a musician's melody. I remember a case recently where a huge group of artists sued an AI company because the AI was able to paint exactly in their style. The artists felt their ingredients were stolen, while the tech company argued the AI was just a student learning from public inspiration. It's a massive tug of war over who owns the foundation of intelligence. Now stay with me for a moment because this leads us to a very famous legal concept called fair use. The official study guide describes this as a legal doctrine that allows the limited use of copyrighted material without requiring permission from the rights holders, depending on factors like the purpose of the use and whether it harms the market for the original work. Let's put that in everyday terms. Think of it like a book review. If I write a review of a new novel and quote 3 sentences from it to show you why it's good, I don't have to pay the author. That's fair use because I'm using a tiny bit to create something new, a critique. But if I copy the entire book and sell it as my own, that's a crime. AI companies argue that training is like reading. The AI reads the internet to understand how humans talk, which they say is a transformative use. But authors are saying, wait a minute, if the AI can now write a book just like mine, you have destroyed my market. You might have seen this in the news with major newspapers suing AI labs. They are basically saying you can't use our hard work to build a machine that eventually replaces us for free. Now watch how this connects to how businesses are trying to play it safe. Data licensing agreements. The official study guide explains that to avoid the fair use headache, many organizations now enter into formal contracts to pay for high quality cleared datasets from reputable sources. Think of it like this. Instead of picking apples from your neighbor's tree and hoping they don't get mad, you just go to the store and buy a bag of apples with a receipt. It's much safer. In the professional world, companies like Adobe or Shutterstock are using their own libraries of images where they already own the rights to train their AI. Or big AI labs are signing multi-million-dollar deals with news organizations to use their archives. I once worked with a legal team that spent 3 months just checking the receipts for a dataset of medical images. They had to make sure every single patient had signed a paper saying, yes, you can use my X-ray to teach a computer. If you don't have that paper trail, your whole AI model is built on stolen land, and a judge could tell you to delete the whole thing. Don't worry, we'll take it slow, but not everything costs money. We also have the public domain and open data. According to the official study guide, these are materials whose intellectual property rights have expired, been forfeited, or are expressly waived, making them free for anyone to use for any purpose, including AI training. Think of it like a public park. Anyone can go there, sit on the grass, and enjoy the view. You don't need a ticket. Shakespeare's plays, for example, are in the public domain. Anyone can train an AI on Hamlet without asking permission. Then you have Creative Commons or open source data, where the creator says, you can use this, but you have to give me credit. You might have seen this on websites like Wikipedia. It's a beautiful resource, but even free data has rules. I remember a developer who got into hot water because he used open source code to train an AI, but forgot to include the required attribution or credit to the original creators. Even in a public park, you still have to follow the don't litter signs. This brings us to a concept that is very important for the AIGP exam: data provenance. The official study guide defines this as the documentation of the origin, lineage, and history of a dataset, which is essential for proving that the data was obtained legally and ethically. Let me show you a simple dummy example. Imagine you are buying a very expensive diamond ring. You'd want a certificate, right? You'd want to know where it was mined, who cut it, and that it isn't a conflict diamond. Data provenance is that certificate for your AI. It's the family tree of the data. As a governance professional, if someone hands you a model and says it's 99% accurate, your first question shouldn't be how fast is it? It should be where did the data come from? Show me the receipts. I once had to tell a startup they couldn't launch their product because their data provenance was messy. They had just scraped it off the web without checking the terms of service. In AI governance, I found it on the internet is not a legal defense. We wrap up this session with the big trend: opt-out mechanisms. The official study guide notes that new regulations and industry standards are emerging that allow creators to tag their digital work with a do not train label, telling AI scrapers to stay away. Think of it like the no soliciting sign on your front door. You aren't saying people can't walk on the sidewalk, but you are saying don't knock on my door to sell me something. This is a huge shift in the technical stack. Website owners are now adding robots.txt files that specifically ban AI bots. As an AIGP, you'll need to make sure your technical team is actually respecting those no training signs. I always tell my students, the era of the all-you-can-eat data buffet is ending. We are moving toward a world where we have to be polite guests on the internet. So remember, just because data is visible doesn't mean it's available for your AI. Does that help you see why the foundations of AI isn't just about code, but about the rights of the people who created the information in the first place?